Welcome back. Welcome. I should be a greeter. I should be like you imagine Jeff as like the Walmart greeter at the front of the RageSelect podcaster, because then I'm like, hello, hi. Well, actually, I don't know. Do they still have those people at Walmart?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Well,
or at least it's less of a greeter and more of a let me check your cart to make sure your receipt is and you didn't steal anything, people.
Well, that's not very nice. I'm not going to check your card, everybody, because it's time for the RageSelect podcast. Here at RageSelect, I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome back, John.
Hey.
I got a real, I feel like I was telling you before, I feel like I got a real John-centric podcast going on this week. Lots of stuff that you and I talk about between Patreon videos.
It's funny because you sent me a list of everything we're going to talk about, and I did not look at it.
Great. That's great. I get to surprise you with all kinds of news today. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah, we got an Xbox. We got an ID at Xbox show that was okay, but then we got a lot of other cool stuff.
Yeah.
Before we get to that, though, I'm bursting at the seams. Right before we started, I watched a movie. I had 3 movies to choose from this week, and I only watched one of them because I was playing Soros for the entire rest of the time.
Okay.
So I looked at Hoppers, came out on VOD.
Okay.
And it got a really high score, and I was like, I don't know that I want to watch something. And then there was that... They're Going to Kill You or something.
I actually want to see that one.
Which got like medium reviews, and I was like, I don't know. So instead, I watched the third one, and that was Exit 8.
Okay, yeah. Is that out on digital already?
It came on VOD this week. So
nice.
Real quick turnaround.
I've heard good things about it.
I was blown away by it. I thought it was great. It actually occurred to me, though, I went and looked, and I was like, I've never played Exit 8. Like, I played the sequel that same company did, that was on it was on the train. Michael and I did that. I think that was the first Spot the Anomaly game that we played. And then I played another one that was like in a train station or something, but it wasn't Exit 8. So I've never actually played that one. But I know a lot about it, just osmotically through culture and stuff. It was really good. It was about 85 minutes, so it wasn't.
Yeah, I heard it doesn't outstay its welcome.
It really doesn't. It moves along. It's interesting because I was wondering whether for anybody who doesn't know, Exit 8 is a game where you're in like a subway station and you're kind of walking down a hallway, and it's a Spot the Anomaly game where if you see an anomaly, you turn back, and if there are no anomalies, you go forward. And some are really, really easy to spot, like horrible things are happening.
Yeah.
And some are like, well, that poster is different than it was before. And so if you get it right, you go up a number until you get up to 8, you leave, and if you get it wrong, you go back to 0 and you start over again. The movie was about a guy... I've actually a few different people who end up trapped in this loop.
Yeah.
And they kind of characterize the main character, which was interesting. At first, I thought it was going to be all, because it starts out and it's like a first-person thing, and I thought it was going to be first-person, but it wasn't. The interesting thing about it, though, was I didn't know how well that would translate, and it turns out that it translates really, really well because the character is looking around, and you are also looking around. And it was one of the few times in my life where I'm pointing the script like, hey, wait, that's wrong. That's wrong right there. Turn around. You got to turn around. In fact, they were very, 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 very clever in the beginning when the character doesn't know the rules and keeps walking past anomalies, but it's filmed in a way where you can see them, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, that was wrong. That was why the number didn't go up at all. So yeah, and it would be really easy for a story like that to get boring, but they give the character a little bit of backstory, a few flaws, some stuff that they're wrestling with. There's a couple of different kind of characters and things that happen, and all in all, I thought it was great. It was probably, in my opinion, one of the best video game adaptations I've seen, but that's only because it's such an easy adaptation, right? Like, it was so easy to make that simple concept into a movie, but they did a really good job. You know, the guy walking in the game, the guy they cast looks exactly like that guy walking. The whole hallway looks just perfect, like from the way it looks in the game with the yellow signs and everything. So I haven't played it, so I don't know if the anomalies are anomalies that are actually in the game, but I really loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was one of my favorite video game movies I've seen so far, and for a little indie thing, I think it's totally worth watching. So
yeah, nice.
Everybody that if you're on the fence, let me push you over onto the no go do it side. I don't know that I would like buy it outright. Like I would buy the whole thing to watch it over and over again. But if it was on streaming or for rental, definitely check it out. So. Did you play the game?
I did not play it, but I have watched Let's Players, streamers play it.
Okay.
But it's been so long I wouldn't remember any of the anomalies or anything. But I know the guy you're talking about that's walking, and I know like what the game looks like, and I've seen the trailer for the movie. So
yeah, boy, it must have been so nice because it must have had such a minuscule budget. Like once you get that hallway tricked out, it's like you're done at that point. Then it's just making weird shit happen. So, but yeah, no, I thought it was great. I don't know. I mean, then I'll maybe watch some of those other ones for next week, but I don't know. Last Disney movie I watched that was like a really high score was Zootopia 2, and I was like, it was okay, it was fine.
Not seen either of the Zootopia movies,
but it had like an incredibly high score, and I couldn't really figure out why. But anyway, what about you, John? You been watching anything, play anything, do anything good?
I mean, I watched a lot of old sequels. I watched House 2, Second Story.
The Second Story. Oh yeah. Okay.
I watched Grease 2.
What brought all this on? You just have sequelitis over here?
And it's funny because it didn't dawn on me that both of the movies were sequels until literally I was thinking about it just now. And then I've been playing a lot of Vampire Crawlers.
Oh yeah, Vampire Survivors too.
Yeah.
Vampire Crawlers. No.
Yeah, I've been playing that a lot.
I had to pry my ass off of that game after you and I played it because I was like, oh, I don't really want to start all the way and go all the way into Pragmata. I'll just play a little bit of Vampire Crawlers. And I was like, I could have fucking beat Pragmata with the amount of time that I put into this.
Yeah, I've got about 24 hours into Vampire Crawlers right now.
It's great. It's fucking got the exact same level of hooks. Although last time you told me, you were like, the runs are a little bit longer.
Sometimes they can be.
Than I would care for.
Yeah. Well, and it's not that I would care for it. It's that, like I said in the video, I'm used to playing Vampire Survivors and like playing it in like 10, 15-minute stretches. Play it and then turning around. Whereas this, it's like, no, I got to dedicate 30 full minutes or more. Once you start getting into the longer stuff, like the earlier levels, you can probably get them 10, 15 minutes or whatever. But once you start like actually playing, it's like, and it's not that I want it to be shorter. It's just that I lost track of time, and it's like, oh, I've been playing this for like 4 hours.
It's also, I'll say that it's, and this is both a good and a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's more engaging than Vampire Survivors because that's a game you could really play on autopilot, and it's easy to play on autopilot, and it's incredibly fun. That's like a mark in the plus column. Whereas Vampire Crawlers, it's a little harder because you're making all these decisions about your deck lineup and the bonuses and the synergies.
How you're adding cards to your deck, how you're upgrading cards in your deck, how you're deciding with I don't know how far you are into the game, but further than we are, we got in the video. But then you're also adding, like what character do you play as? What cards does that character come with? What abilities does that character have?
Yep.
Also, there's tarot cards that have effects. The Arcana cards that have effects, and so if you get the right Arcana card with the right character, you can fucking clean shop in that game. But you get the wrong Arcana card with the wrong character, and it's like, oh, why am I having such a hard time with this? I wasn't struggling this much before. So it's like, oh, it's because the Arcana card's wrong. I got to change that.
Yep. Like if you get a character with whenever you draw a purple card, you get another purple card. It's like, oh, the purple cards are the ones that give you mana. So you can get to a point where you're just fucking drawing like 12 cards in a turn, and it gets crazy. But yeah, I think back to my time with Vampire Survivors, and you could pick any character, and it was mostly just what you started with. Yeah. And once you start unlocking those, it's like, I can do this with anybody, with any combination of things. I just have to adjust which synergies I'm going to get.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic. Yeah. I'm glad to see that it gives me hope for the Warhammer one that they're making, the Warhammer Crawlers thing, which is a very weird concept. So, anything else?
No, that's about it.
Oh, I will say I beat Pragmata last week. It was good stuff. I'm glad Capcom's been on a real solid roll this year with Requiem and Monster Hunter Stories 3 and Pragmata, and I beat 2 out of the 3 of those. It's nice to see that Capcom has just put their eggs in the 15-hour single-player video game with a story basket.
Yeah.
And that it's not all about online and battle passes and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
So, yep. Big recommend. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump in here. We have we ID at Xbox this week, and we're gonna kind of motor through this one because there's some interesting stuff in here, but not like a lot. It was funny. I unpaused the video just the guy said sorry. I was like, you don't have to apologize. That's fine. I know what you guys are doing.
We know IGN.
I know you, IGN. But there are a couple things in here that are worth talking about. So we're just gonna kind of go down the list, and I don't want to force us to talk about anything that neither one of us have any interest in.
I did watch this.
Oh, yeah?
It's funny. Yeah, no, I actually did watch this.
Well, they started strong with a thing that I think that we're both really excited about, which is the another look at There Are No Ghosts at the Grand.
I am really looking forward to this game, not just because it has a ska soundtrack.
You don't want to be a parody of yourself. I thought this was interesting because this, like, of all the, we've only seen a couple of official trailers, and they very much focused on the kind of whimsy of redecorating the place and, but there's ghosts, but look, there's also the ska soundtrack and blah, blah, blah. But this one went into like, there's also a supernatural mystery that the main character is trying to solve.
It's like also all that stuff we were telling you before that we showed in the previous trailers.
Yeah.
It's there, but it's there to support this is the actual story.
Right. That's your daytime cover. You play Power Wash Simulator by day, and at night you play Power Wash Ghostbusters or something.
And that interests me too.
Yeah. I it's funny too because I don't know if Amanda told you when we played it that it's like also a musical.
Yeah.
Which I didn't expect, where there was like the song that came on with lyrics. And I was like, this is a nice song. Then I realized that the character that was standing next to me was singing it. And I was like, oh. And then my character started singing back. And I was like, oh, shit. Okay. I had no idea. You guys were just going full on. But I mean, the art style is incredibly charming. It's simple, but it's very engaging. All of the mechanics of like, the cleaning and destruction and putting up stuff. It's kind of Power Wash Simulator with some extra stuff added in. And then a lot of those tools from the demo end up being things you use in the kind of a combat sequence as well. Plus the soundtrack slaps.
Yeah.
I mean, they use the same song that they made that really weird janky music video for with the lead singer of the band Skint. I guess, lady I've never heard of before. But anyway, this is closer and closer. And I think it looks fantastic. I'm going to be really, really happy to check this out on the day that it comes out. And it's like May, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they announced a release date for it yet. I think they just said, it's coming out this year.
Oh, okay, just coming out this year. Okay. Release date, God damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm really chomping at the bit to play it.
We also saw this game Vapor World, which I think has been shown somewhere else before. I was getting really big Salt and Sanctuary vibes off of it.
A little bit,
So 2D kind of Soulsy action adventure. I don't know. It could be a Metroidvania for all I know, even though I haven't seen anything on there. But it definitely... It's got a very specific look to it. It looks like Salt and Sanctuary, but the art is, better than that. I don't know. There's something about it that I was like, boy, this could go either way, because these sorts of things can end up being really fun. But this one also had just some like whiffs of, I don't know, cheapness to it. Like good art style in some places, but the gameplay didn't seem especially that interesting. I don't know. I don't assume that this is anything that you would be really all that interested in.
Didn't really.
And then from there, as I said, we are going to just roll through some of these. Mistfall Hunter, which is it's like an RPG. It's like an online RPG. It was presenting itself as if it was some kind of single player action game, but then I looked around at all these different little activation numbers, and I was like, I think this is an online thing. This looks like it's another one of those third-person action RPG, online RPGs that's just masquerading as like, yeah, you Souls players want to play this, and I'm like, I'm not that interested in that, but yeah, that's coming out. I mean, it's coming out in July, and it's going to be on Game Pass. I don't know. Who knows? It could be all right if you don't have to pay for it, or if you're just getting it by Game Pass. Let's see. We saw Star Seeker Astroneer Expeditions, which just looks like multiplayer Astroneer. I've got other games to occupy that space in my heart. I don't know. You interested in Astroneer at all?
Not really.
We got the launch trailer for Aphelion, which
that comes out like within the next week.
It's already out.
Oh, it's out. It came out this week. Okay, sorry. I watched this whole thing last week, and I was like, oh, it comes out next week, and then my brain is now like, oh, it comes out next week.
Yeah, I originally had Aphelion on the list to play, but then it got like a medium score. And the last thing I wanted was a don't nod game with a medium score, because that always just ends up making me irritated.
Yeah.
Like this game, like Don't Nod is very good at making a game, because this is a game about two astronauts on an alien planet. One of them is injured. The other one's kind of trying to get to them. I think it's like a kind of husband and wife team. And then you flip between them. So there's like aliens and monsters and platforming and that kind of stuff. But I can see how you could make, I don't know, maybe I need to go download this on Game Pass. I could see how you could make a trailer for this that looks really good. And then when you go to play it, it's like, oh my God, I'm so fucking tired of the exposition in the first hour of this game.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm judging it too harshly.
Maybe.
I just haven't been the biggest fan of Don't Nod's whole catalog.
Don't Nod is very hit or miss for me. Like, I don't think there's been a consistent, like, oh, I don't like everything for, the same reasons, or, oh, I like every game, that they make. It's just, like, one game I'll be like, oh, this was fun. Then another game will be like, that was not good. And then another game will be like, that was mid.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Let's see. It's got Lost Records. Oh, they put out that Lonesome Guild game. I never played that. That Harmony game. Jusant. I played through Jusant. Banishers. Twin Mirror. Tell Me Why. Life is Strange 2, Captain Spirit, Vampire, Original Life is Strange, Remember Me. Yeah, that's a rocky catalog right there. Anyway, that's out right now. It's on Game Pass. I don't know. I mean, give it a go. I did like the look of this Loft Song game. It put a lot of film grain on this trailer.
Yeah,
but it gave it a really interesting kind of like you were watching like a 2D animated thing. Some of the shots look a lot like a 2D animated thing, just because of, I think, the amount of film grain they've got plastered over this thing. It's kind of an abstract game where you're playing as like a little girl and you're doing puzzles. It kind of looks like Monument Valley.
It does kind of look like Monument Valley a little bit.
And it seems like it's mostly just puzzles. But then, like, at the very end, I don't know. Sometimes games will do this thing where they are like, okay, so it's just a top-down puzzle game. I don't know if that's completely up my alley. But at the very end, there was a little bit of, like, creepy weirdness. There was, like, a little fuzz effect and, like, some weird audio that came in.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I kind of want to know what that is. So, I don't think there wasn't a release date for that one either at the moment. I don't know. Any thoughts on Loft Song?
I mean, it looks interesting. There was an element where the character was like gliding across like the desert sand or whatever. Mm-hmm. That kind of reminded me of I can't think of the game's name. All of a sudden,
Journey.
Yeah, Journey.
Yep.
Thank you.
I thought that same thing.
But it looks like it could be fun to check out. And I'm curious, at the very end when it glitches a little bit and then says follow the signal, and then like it has like a little barcode thing, and I'm like, oh, that's an ARG.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. We had this extended live action trailer for Albion Online, which I don't know, I didn't care for this. At the end they show what the actual Albion Online game looks like, and it's just this kind of like top down, simplistic online RPG that you can play with other people.
Is this related in any way to the Fable games?
I don't believe so.
because Fable games take place in the world of Albion.
I don't think so, because I think that this was already on PC. Yeah. I think when I looked it up, I was like, oh, this came out on, or maybe Albion Online on Steam, and it was, this came out 2017.
Okay.
On Steam, so.
Which explains why it looks the way it does.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very simple, and it didn't really do a lot for me. Of like, oh, it's a simple action RPG with multiplayer online elements. It's just not really my thing. So, after that, we got the full release trailer for Vampire Crawlers.
Yeah,
again, as stated, looks it's so awesome that
it's addictingly fun to play.
It's really good. It's so interesting that the Vampire Survivors universe is these just like incredibly basic sprites that are barely animated, and yet I couldn't put this thing down. Like,
but it's also weird because there is lore.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
You know, there is lore in the game, and also it pokes fun at itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just kind of. Like, it knows what it is. It's not trying to be more than that, but yeah.
Yep. It's also a game that, like, you can't, like, much like Vampire Survivors, you can't not make progress in this game.
Yeah.
Like, you're just, unless you're willfully trying not to, you're going to keep getting further and further and further as time goes on. So, but yeah, that's out now. Let's see. We got the trailer for Echo Generation 2. This one looks a little bit better. The first ones were very focused on the...
Never played the first one.
Yeah, I remember doing a video for it. I'm not the biggest fan of the voxel look that it has.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it kind of like pixelated, but voxel. It's obviously very much this one's a referential game. You've got references to Stranger Things with this kind of, lady in a research facility fighting guys. There's kind of a Marty McFly looking character. There's just a fucking gremlin. Like, it's kind of a cross between a Mogwai and a gremlin at the same time. This guy said Marty McFly character. I don't know if that's what this is, but the guy's driving a DeLorean, and he's got gremlins with him. So I don't know. It's very, very referential. And I think that people like the first one. I don't know.
Okay.
May 27th coming out. It'll be on Game Pass. Let's see. After that, I keep seeing trailers for this Tears of Metal game. It's kind of Viking hack and slash game. And I just don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about it either.
Like, I can't tell if it's like a Dynasty Warriors or what. I know there's a demo for it out on Steam, but... it hasn't made enough of an impression on me to even dig that much further into it. So, let's see. What else we got there? Oh, boy, we need to get a little bit faster. Crash Out Crew is coming. That's another kind of friend slot game where a bunch of people with forklifts.
Yeah.
I've seen this on Steam before, where you're kind of trying to, like, deliver boxes, and they're all very fragile, and they're full of bees and different things. More exciting than that is RV There Yet is coming to Game Pass in May. I played this one with Jason. It was really, really fun. You're trying to keep the RV together. You can repair it, but there's also like wolves and bears and starvation and all kinds of stuff. And you got these kind of weird looking guys. This is a fun game. I think I definitely would want to give this a shot with 4 players. And I'm glad to see that the friend slot stuff is continuing, because I played Pratfall last week with Tessa, and that was pretty cool. So. Escape Academy 2 is coming. I was underwhelmed by the first one of these.
Yeah. And now it's open world.
Yeah, now it's 3D. We got a game called Totopia that looks like Fall Guys with brats, basically. Yeah. Which I couldn't have less of an interest in if I tried. Okay, so here's one that I thought you would at least know, is that the Solo Leveling Arise Overdrive is putting in the Jeju Island expansion, so you get to fight the giant ant guy in the Solo Leveling Arise world, which is kind of an alternate thing. I don't know. Have you checked that game out? It was okay. I think it's free to play, but it was okay as a third person action game. but I could feel the phone of it where it was trying to draw me in.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah.
Or available on my Xbox, I should say.
Yeah, it's not like the best, but I guess if you want to play an anime, it's not an arena fighter.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, so you can do that. Deep Dish Dungeon got an overview trailer. I think this one's kind of a semi-front slop, you might say, because it's a dungeon crawler with 4 players. But the big thing is you've got to eat.
Yeah,
and you've got to keep yourself alive by eating, and then what you eat determines like what stats you have, and so you can go further and further and make a little base. And this one has gotten pretty decent buzz. But it's got this very kind of PSX style that's not my favorite thing for this. On the other hand, I'm very excited for Bistro. I don't know if you had. I don't know if you'd run into Bistro yet. I've seen it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I'd seen the trailer on this, and I liked the fact that it kind of looked like a little paper craft puppet show.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you do kind of food crafting for heroes. So the food crafting is kind of your most interactive part, and then you get to like watch those heroes go try the dungeon in a non-interactive way. So, you know, if they're going into a fire dungeon, you want to cook up something that gives them fire resistance, or, you know, that kind of thing. But the whole presentation of this game is so fucking charming.
Yes.
Main characters charming. It's like Pixar characters and Pixar anime characters. You've got all these little animals and fishing mini games and cooking games and all that stuff. So yeah, this one is one that's really, really on my list.
That one also comes out pretty soon.
Yeah, May 21st.
Yeah.
Inconbini is another one that I'm really interested in. This is a kind of a shop simulator crossed with a little bit of I think it's like got a story, like an overarching story to it. I think the thing about this is just the presentation on this one is so good.
Yeah.
Like the characters look so good, and like all the little fake products and everything look really authentic. And it's not a horror game. I feel like all the shopping games are now horror games.
All the simulator games turn to horror games at some point.
That's true. But yeah, this one just appears to be kind of you're working at the local convenience store and trying to figure out what to do with your life type of thing. Yeah. And that's coming out April 30th. So by the time you hear this, that's today. That's the day we're recording this. So by the time you hear this, it will already be out on Game Pass.
I can go home and play it.
Mm-hmm.
I won't, but
Kala Noro didn't make a big impression on me. It's kind of a New Zealand thing. You're kind of a top-down action thing.
Yeah.
Where this lady with big hair rescuing lemurs and shit. I don't know. It looks charming enough. Just didn't really do anything for me.
The game was probably not for me, but I'll check it out.
Yeah. Also, I'm just going to run through these other two. Speedrunners 2, no interest whatsoever.
No interest,
It's just more speedrunners. And then Golf with Your Friends 2, also not really super duper interested.
If I had friends, you know, maybe I'd play it.
They had one fatal flaw in their game design. Well, you know, you can always go to patreon.com/RageSelect, get on the Discord, get some friends there. And then they finished up with Screenbound, a game that honestly I thought was out. I thought this game was already out. It's a game where you have a 2D representation of yourself on a Game Boy, but then you can also pull the Game Boy down and you're in a 3D world, and so you can kind of move using either one of those axes, and you do kind of slightly different things. It's an interesting concept. They also had a demo for this on Steam, but I really wanted to kind of keep my powder dry on it, because it looks like a very interesting. I don't know how you keep me from getting ill switching between the two. But then they also announced that there's like a second cartridge. So they kind of showed a lot of the first thing, and then at the end they showed that there's another cartridge, and that this seems like a Screenbound World 2, and this appears to be a little bit more. The first one was very platformy, and this one is a little bit more like
Legend of Zelda. Yeah. So the first one was very Mario. This one's very Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Yeah, and that game is not out yet, but it's
someday
coming out. So, yeah, I don't know. There's a couple good things in there. I'm not, it wasn't exactly the blasting my socks off, but there's Bistro, there's that Screenbound. I'm still looking forward to No Ghost the Grand. Some good friend swap games in there. I don't know anything in particular outside of the stuff I already mentioned.
Just what we talked about.
Yeah. So, yeah, all that happened, and you can go watch that video right now. Let's see. Moving on, we had a big Xbox news this week. A lot of different Xbox newses this week. So Asha Sharma, the new CEO of Xbox, there was an internal memo that came out, as well as a bunch of different things that happened. And so that's what we're going to go over right now. So
okay.
The first thing that happened is Microsoft Gaming is out.
It's dead.
The gaming division of the Xbox division is now called the Xbox division again, and not the Microsoft Gaming division, which, again, there's a lot of this stuff with the new with Asha Sharma that I'm like, I can't complain. None of this seems incredibly substantive, but it all seems to be pointing in the right direction, which is all I could say for right now. Whether or not she's a good choice is going to take a few years to figure out, but I think that probably fans of the Xbox would be happy that this happened, because that brand seemed like it had been a bit diluted over time. So that was one of the first things. They also changed the logo. if you saw this one, John.
Yeah, went back to the green logo.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever actually this, but now it's like, it's the Xbox logo, but it's kind of made out of green glass, the kind of Xbox green glass, as opposed to they had flattened it down into the white kind of sterile logo that we see on just about everything these days. It was fun because a lot of kind of other companies were chiming in on this. I think Razer was like, "Ooh, I like your new colors." There's a few different. Mountain Dew, I think, retweeted this. It was like, "You've got good taste, Microsoft." So, but yeah, I mean, this is another kind of throwback to Xbox of old. The big thing is that they released this whole memo. I don't know if you probably didn't read this.
I did read it.
Oh, okay.
I know of the memo.
So
because I have an Xbox, I play mostly on Xbox.
Well, that's why I said it was probably real John centric this week. So, there was a lot of mea culpa in here about the kind of missteps that have been made over time, and the plan. I don't know. Reading between the lines, there's a couple of things in here. Xbox seems to understand that the value proposition isn't there for what they're offering right now.
Yeah.
The consoles are too expensive. Game Pass already got a drop in price, but it was too expensive. Everything was getting too expensive, and that when you're in third place, you can't afford to be really expensive. You need to give people a reason to get into your ecosystem. Yes. So part of it is kind of bringing that back, making sure that the value proposition is there. There was a rumor last week about an a la carte Game Pass where you could take stuff off that you didn't want. So like if you didn't want the Fortnite crew, you could take that off and it would reduce the price. Or if you did want Ubisoft Uplay, you could put that in. But there was a mention in here about trying to keep like the actual console price down.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know, nobody knows what Project Helix is, right? We're all just speculating because nobody's come out with any actual specs on it.
Yeah.
But all of the rumors have been that it's going to be really expensive because it's just going to be a PC as opposed to a console, which makes me wonder if they're going to try to pivot away from into a more value conscious point of view. Do they scrap what they've already done with that? Do they retool it? Do they just, yank RAM out of it? Do they, or just go back to taking a hit on consoles so that you can sell the games, like drop it below manufacturing in order to try to sell on the other side of it? I don't know. How much would you, I don't think you have any specific brand loyalty to Xbox, right? Or do you?
I do a little bit, because Xbox has been my console of choice each generation, has been the one I go for first.
Oh, okay.
when I had the money and I had the choice of, do I buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or whatever the current model is called?
Yeah, Series X.
I went with the Xbox Series X just because I prefer Xbox. I prefer the Xbox controller over the PlayStation controller. I prefer the interface. I like the console. Does that suck that I don't get certain exclusives? Yeah, it does. But eventually I do end up always buying the other console at some point.
Sure.
This one's been a little bit longer just due to financial reasons and
the fact they keep raising the price instead of lowering it.
Yeah. But I mean, truthfully, I'm more of I would say if you, the one console that I have over anything would probably be Nintendo, because I have all the Nintendo consoles and will always have the newest Nintendo console at some point. But,
sure.
But between PlayStation and Xbox, I tend to go Xbox more than anything.
So then, if you read this, I mean, there's a little bit more to it than that. But what did you think of this overall? There's a lot of corpo jargon.
Yeah,
but you gotta learn to read between the lines a little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot of, hey, we know we made mistakes and we're gonna try to fix them. We don't know how yet, but we have some ideas, and we're you're gonna see some changes. Some we hope that we hope you're happy with.
There was one thing in here that I thought was interesting, in that they were very there was a specific mention of trying to get into the Chinese game market. And I think that this might be that Ashish Sharma has looked at the last 15 years of Microsoft trying to break into both the EU and Japan, and failing miserably, and being like, well, you know what, if we could sell Xbox Series S's to people in China and they could get some of the games they wanted to play on here, that's a huge market, right? If you can get people interested in that ecosystem, if you can get a little bit of buy-in in the Chinese market, you will end up with a big return, which is why it's such a problematic sector for us. But I should probably run down these, because there were a bunch of different priorities here. They say they wanted to do the top priorities are hardware, content, experience, and services. With hardware, this is what: stabilize Gen 9, deliver Project Helix to lead in performance and play your console and PC games, lead in comfortable, personal, high-performance accessories, build a strong ecosystem. With content, grow and extend an enduring portfolio of franchises, evolve our third-party partnerships, and strengthen our 5-year slate. Expand into China, emerging markets, and mobile-first audiences. That one's a little weird to me, though, because it's like, China's a cell phone market.
It is.
Like, are you guys going to start publishing cell phone games? Are you going to try to get that market to buy,
get it so that the cloud gaming can play games better on
a cell phone?
On a cell phone.
Or, like that Solo Leveling Arise, you could try to focus on getting ports of Chinese gacha games on consoles so that people can play them, on a TV instead of just on the console. Maintain and grow in live games and long-term, blah, blah, blah. Elevate creator-centric platforms like Minecraft, The Elder Scrolls, and Sea of Thieves. Experience, fix the fundamentals, make Xbox the best place for developers and creators to build and grow, overhaul discovery, customization, social, and personalization. I will say that there were a number of stories over the last 5 years of Xbox just like being incredibly difficult to deal with as a platform, like getting dev kits or like reaching out to be like, I'd like to publish my game on Xbox, and then never hearing back. So if they just have people that are actually engaging, that could be a good thing. Anyway, there's a lot of it. There's a couple of things in here. Under services, return the business to durable growth with strong cost discipline. I don't know if this means that we're going to be entering the era where everybody at Microsoft is tightening their belts even more than they already are. There was that rumor that came out, I think it was before Ashish Sharma took over, that they wanted like a 20% ROI on every Xbox game, which is like fucking ridiculous. Like big AAA games make 8. So the idea of asking for 20. Anyway, so there's a lot of stuff over here that is little 10 points that are all, I don't know. These were irritating to me because there's like these little, if anybody's ever worked at a store that has a strong like culture where they have like a bunch of slogans that you're supposed to internalize.
I worked for Blizzard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Where they're like, earn every player, protect our art, makers over managers, outwork the problem. I'm like, okay, fine, fucking what does this mean?
Yeah, there's
are you gonna bring Perfect Dark Zero back or not? That's all I wanted to know. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I worked for Blizzard. They have the same kind of thing. Like they try to, these are the tenets that you must live by as an employee here, and and it's like, okay,
yeah. I mean, in anything, there's a balance, right, between making money and making your customers happy, right? Like the way to make your customers the most happy would be to give everything away for fucking free. You would make no money. So right now, I feel like Microsoft hasn't figured out where to get that balance yet, where they need the money, but they haven't figured out how to do it in a way that doesn't piss people off.
Well, it's weird because I feel like at one time they were there. They had it. And then they lost it. And they went so far into losing it, like they doubled down and tripled down and like quadrupled down into their fucking losing it, that they just don't seem to understand how to get back to that, to where they were with the Xbox 360. That's 2-3 console generations back.
Xbox 360 was inexpensive. It had a shitload of games. It had the online Xbox Arcade.
Did it have its problems? Yes. Red Ring of Death,
of course.
Other things. It had its problems, and they tried to work with those. But then when they did the Xbox One,
Connect,
and then they
TV.
doubled down on everything for Xbox One. And then when the community revolted against everything that they were promising, they're like, we'll undo all those things you didn't like, but we're going to be really pissy about it.
Yeah. And then when you get to the current generation, I think that there's I've always looked at it as like, well, the PS5 was built to have lightning fast load times.
Yeah.
And the Nintendo Switch was developed so you could take it with you wherever you go. And the Xbox is kind of like my PC, but more awkward because it's vertical. And that's like, I can't think of anything like the stuff they used to be notable for. Everybody else is just copied. It's done, right?
Yeah.
We got friends lists on the other stuff. We've got live stuff. We got indie games everywhere else.
Well, and again, I think part of the problem is that again with the Xbox One, they tried so hard to make it not just a console, but it's a thing for everything.
Yeah.
Like it's your stream box. It's your, we want you to connect your TV to it. We want you, and not just TV, we want you to connect your cable box to it.
Right.
It's your cable box. It's your streaming box. It's your gaming box. It's everything short of being a PC.
Yep. And
then they kind of, with the Xbox One X, it was kind of more of that, and with the Xbox Series X,
I mean, they didn't bundle the Kinect anymore. I think they took the Kinect port off of the Series the One X.
But like the Series X is kind of still trying to uphold that without focusing on that as much.
Yeah,
and whereas PlayStation is very much the Sony PlayStation's it's a console. We're not trying to be anything else. We allow streaming on it, but we first and foremost we're a console, and all of our everything we're doing goes into it being a gaming console. Same with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Everything we're doing with the Switch and the Switch 2 is for it being a gaming console.
It feels like what Xbox has in this ecosystem is Game Pass.
Yeah.
And the Game Pass has been like as Microsoft loses a lot of their first party stuff, Game Pass becomes less and less interesting.
Yeah.
You can buy the games on the PlayStation, and there isn't a new Halo. There isn't a new Gears. There's like a lot of there's not a new, there is a new Fable, but like it's been in development for a long time. There's a lot of stuff where it used to be that Microsoft had a whole plethora of first party stuff that was a good value then to get on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's just zip through a few of these because we're almost out of time. There was a rumor that was happening that Discord was going to be doing something with Xbox, and people thought that Xbox was going to be integrating Discord in as a messaging app. Turns out that it's the opposite way around. If you buy Discord Nitro, you get like a lil version of Game Pass for free. So for your $10 a month of Discord Nitro, you get this starter edition that comes with access to 50 games, as well as up to 10 hours of cloud game streaming a month to try to get people to go over. So There's also some data that came out about how well this I thought was fucking shocking. This was like estimated. Nobody puts this out, but this estimated sales data for Xbox's releases of games on the PlayStation and how well they sold. So far and away, the best one was Forza Horizon 5 at 5.8 million copies.
Yeah, because PlayStation players, especially those who like games like Gran Turismo, were dying for a good racing game.
Absolutely. Sea of Thieves was second at 2.7 million, but that's a huge drop off.
Yeah.
From there, you're dropping all the way down to Oblivion Remastered, which was 1.2 million, Ground at 770K. And then everything else on here, Gears of War, Doom Dark Ages, Indiana Jones, Ninja Gaiden 4, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Starfield, Age of Empires 2, Outer Worlds 2, and Age of Mythology are all below 750K units. What this means, though, is that when they add all of this up, it looks like these sales got Microsoft about $667 million before Sony's cut. Sony's cut puts us down to about $500 million. So, which you really, that's a number that you really do have to weigh against the console sales that you're not getting. A lot of Xbox fans get mad about stuff going over to other consoles because it makes them feel like their investment isn't as good. Like $500 million ain't nothing, but Microsoft is a $1 trillion company. Like it's not. They paid $69 billion for Activision. These are not video game. This is not top 3 numbers right here. Like, honestly, this doesn't seem worth it to me. Like, for all of the time they had to certify these games and put them out and market them or do whatever. Like, if I was Asher Sharma and I was looking at this, I'd be like, yeah, don't do that anymore. This is just not worth the time, not worth the effort. Which is interesting because I don't think up until now we had any real idea what these sales figures looked like. Yeah. So
I would be curious to see what these sales numbers are compared to the Xbox release of the games. Now, obviously,
that's so hard, right? Because of Game Pass.
Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, without Game Pass, like what the actual sales numbers for those games on Xbox are without taking Game Pass into exception.
Yeah.
That's something I am, because how much better are the numbers? Like, if the numbers are so, are like double or triple on an Xbox, then I agree with you. This is, who cares at this point? But, if the numbers for all these games, like you said, before Sony takes their cut, it's 667 million. If on the Xbox, not counting Game Pass, if these games were like in the 60 billion or something like that number.
Sure,
I doubt it, but like, let's say there's 6
orders
billion,
of magnitude,
6 billion or 2 billion or whatever. Then, is it worth this at that point? If they're doing similar numbers and most of the people playing the games are playing them through Game Pass, then you have to look at, is that worth it, comparatively? It's
just they've watered down the entire ecosystem so much that it's hard to even know. It's like, how many sales would you be getting if, let's say, Forza Horizon 5 was only an Xbox game and wasn't on PC and wasn't on PlayStation and wasn't anywhere else? Like, would you be converting some people into buying a console or even using streaming or something to play?
Well, then here's the question, because in regards to all these games, isn't it a case of they all came out like a year later on PlayStation? Like, they didn't come out the same day that they came out on the Xbox.
So some of them. Oblivion came out day and date. Gears of War Reloaded was obviously them trying to put on the PlayStation. Outer Worlds 2, I believe, was the same day. But like Indiana Jones had 3 months because it was like November on the Xbox and then like January or February on the PlayStation.
Okay, I thought it was longer than that.
Doom the Dark Ages was a day and date. Same. Forza Horizon 5 was like a year later, and Sea of Thieves obviously has been out for 1 billion years on the Xbox, so that was definitely some time. But Starfield just came out, and that was a year 2 years, I think, after it came out on the Xbox. So, but then the thing is that I think that I didn't even put it together, and we got to wrap it up here. Sony has been reporting similar stuff with their PC ports. is that every subsequent PC port of a PS5 exclusive sold less and less and less and less, to the point where everybody is pretty sure that Sony's just going to stop,
yeah,
because it's just not worth it. Like the first few of them where you had like, oh, you could play Spider-Man on the PC and just a whole shitload of people bought it, but then you start going to like Spider-Man 2 didn't sell nearly as well as Spider-Man 1, and God of War Ragnarok didn't sell nearly as well. So as time goes on, I think they're doing the same calculus that Xbox probably is doing, of saying, is it worth it to go through all of this extra rigmarole and potentially lose console sales for this paltry of a return on investment?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we got a little bit more Microsoft, but then we're going to shift gears. Ooh, so get ready. And we're back. And
Yes.
We have a little bit more Microsoft news left to go before we move on. Okay. I had to read this article 3 times. So Microsoft has announced this new update to the DirectX pipeline.
Okay.
And let me just, the specifics of this are just going to be tech gobbledygook if I try to like read it. But basically what this is you know how we have the AIs to do the upsampling and the ray tracing and all the blah, 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 blah,
Yes.
right? So that process happens on the other side of the DirectX rendering stack on PCs. So DirectX renders the frames, right? And then the frames get passed all along to the Tensor Cores, DLSS, or DNA, or whatever is doing the upsampling. They post-process that image, and then they put it on the screen. This new update is basically taking that part of the process and putting it inside of the DirectX pipeline. So instead of basically rendering the image and then rendering it a second time, all of that rendering will be happening in the same place.
Okay.
Which could end up, I think could end up hopefully optimizing a lot of this stuff so you don't get as much like, you know, stuttery stuff or as many artifacts, because all that stuff will be happening before you ever see the image, as opposed to taking an image and then, you know, upsampling it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I saw this and I read it and then I didn't understand what it said. And I had to look up how DirectX works, but could be interesting. It also could be interesting for consoles, because the current consoles are using PC architecture. So if they can get that working, and they could take like the FSR that Xbox and PlayStation use in a lot of places and move it further up the pipeline, I think it could make things work a little bit better. So we'll have to see how it works. It's just a thing that's out in preview right now.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay. Let's move on from Microsoft to Sony. Sony had a bit of a thing last week. I don't know if you saw this one, where people noticed that new games that were downloaded had to call home to Sony every 30 days. Like if you bought something digitally on a PlayStation, that basically it was set up so that it had to check in on the internet with the servers every 30 days, or else it would be deactivated. People were testing this by basically buying a game, taking the CMOS battery out of the PlayStation so that it couldn't validate the date, and then it would basically say like this content was unavailable. This is a big thing where people thought that Sony was instituting some new DRM. This is especially bad for game preservation. Obviously, if this, Sony ever shuts down or the store shuts down or whatever, digital games become unusable if you can't phone home. So a lot of this was just like conjecture. Nobody really knew what was going on. There are people, it was first reported on by a YouTuber. People tested it. They found the same thing. There was some Sony insider or some people that had insights into what was going on that had said, this isn't actually what you think it is. It's something else. And so after this whole week of kind of going round and round, Sony finally came out and basically explained it. What this actually is when you buy a digital game, after 14 days, it has to call home once in order to validate the game. And then it's basically like smooth sailing forever. The reason for this is because you can, under certain circumstances, request a refund from Sony within the first 14 days after you buy a game digitally.
Oh, okay.
And people with jailbroken/hacked PS5s were basically abusing this system to buy the game, return it, but keep the game on the console so that they could basically just get the game and then get a refund for it. So that's what ended up happening, which, you know, it was just a thing that came up, and people were questioning it. Sony finally came out. I don't know. People were a little upset about Sony for not explaining all this at like right away, but I can understand why they wouldn't, especially if they were testing it out. But then Sony has also done some other jankety ass bullshit.
True.
That weird pricing thing where if they were lowering the prices for some games if you hadn't purchased a lot of games.
Yeah.
So like if you purchased a lot of games, the game cost more. But anyway, so that happened, and I just thought I would put the little story out there. Speaking of communications issues, apparently nobody is ever happy with Helldivers 2 for any reason. The entire player base just seems to be mad at that game all the time. Right now, it seems to be that they're not doing as many bug fixes or new content updates, and they seem to be focusing just on the war things, whatever the battle pass things are called that they put out. So last week, the Johan Pilstad, the guy that was kind of the main guy, went on Reddit and basically said, I want to hear all your complaints, and then said that they're going to take a lot of this into consideration and that they're going to be coming back every couple weeks to hear more complaints as a way to try to kind of smooth over relations with the audience, which, I mean, you know, if your audience in a live service game like that rebels,
yeah,
you ain't got a game anymore. So, and then also we got the news that all of the price hiking on the PlayStation 5 is also going to be happening in a bunch of East Asian countries. The announcement in Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand, Indonesia, Philippines, and Vietnam are all getting basically bumps, price bumps on all of the PlayStation 5's portals, pros, and accessories to account for, you know, gestures at the tech industry wildly type of thing. So yeah, that's what's going on with Sony right now. More interestingly, though, I think for you, John, is we got a lot of press last week about the Steam controller.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was funny because if I remember correctly, someone put up their review of it and then immediately took it down because clearly they had made the review and it was set to go up on a specific date.
Oh.
And then it went up, but the date that they embargoed got changed, and they didn't change it on their in their settings.
Okay.
So, and then they pulled it down, and then like after like a few days, or basically the following Monday, because they did that on Friday, and the following Monday, Steam was like, "All right, everyone, post your shit."
Did you watch this little video that they put out?
I watched some stuff about it.
Some stuff about it. Okay, so the interesting thing here is we'd already kind of seen what it looked like.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. They've got this system where it comes with a wireless. It comes with a wireless receiver that is also magnetically sticks to the bottom and is a charger. They call it the puck, which is great. That's a great little innovation. It seems like they just kind of jammed everything that a controller could do into one thing. It's obviously got all the standard buttons and control interfaces of a normal controller. It's also got some kind of specific magnetic analog stick stuff to keep the drift from happening.
Yes.
It's got 4 back buttons. It's got gyro control in it, and it also has a capacitor that tracks whether you're holding, like gripping the 2 grips. So you can literally program functions into, if you like release one hand on the controller, it'll do stuff. Like the thing they say is like you could set it like bring up the weapon wheel, so when you're playing you just like release one side and then like tilt the controller in the direction you want, or like bring up the map, so you just kind of let go a little bit and it just brings up the map, which is kind of interesting. I don't know that my brain can handle that many more control surfaces on a controller. I don't know, John. You're the person I know that's been most interested in the Steam machine, so I don't know if this in and of itself does anything. I guess you don't really have a use case for this right now because you don't have a I guess you have a computer that can play Steam games.
On my laptop can play Steam games. I play a lot of games on my laptop sometimes, but like I am kind of interested in the controller. Obviously I want to buy a Steam machine whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
But I am interested in kind of like, maybe I'll try to buy one, once it goes on sale, which I think it's supposed to go on sale soon.
It's I think the first week of May. So I think I think it's next week. I think it's like next Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think it was the 4th actually.
Yeah. No, I think it's May 4th.
Maybe by the day you're seeing this,
I was like, maybe I'll buy one and use it with my laptop, and then when the Steam comes out, I'll buy one, and that'll come with one,
right?
And I'll have 2 controllers.
Yeah. So it's using, and just for anybody who doesn't know, it's using a lot of the, let's see, on a normal controller where you have the grips. Imagine if the kind of the center part of the controller just went further down. It's a lot like an old Xbox controller, like the first Xbox.
Kind of reminds me of a much more ergonomic Dreamcast controller.
I can see that. It's a big boy. It's got 2 touch pads on it.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing, so that it can play, it has a little bit more functionality with games that have mouse controls. Obviously, because it's Steam, all of the inputs, if they have X input support, are just like fully programmable.
Yeah. If you have a Steam Deck, it's just imagine the screen removed and the controller squished into a controller size.
Or that. Now, I guess the big thing that's raised a few eyebrows is $100.
Yes.
Which is a little bit more. I mean,
that's about where I expected it to be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I usually don't pay more than I think the current controllers are. The Xbox ones, I think, are like $60, and then the Elite ones are like $100.
The Elite ones are $120.
Oh, okay. So it's basically between normal and an Elite.
And that's where I expected it to be.
Yeah.
Is that the standard controllers are about $60 to $70. I mean, even not just counting Xbox ones. Sony's I think are around $60 or $70.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's kind of your standard run, and then like you have your big Elite controllers or whatever,
right?
That are about $100, $125. And so with this, given everything that it does, that's built into it, I'm not surprised at it being at 100. It was about where I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I don't know. Valve has with the Steam Deck, and these things are always just a little bit more expensive than I would have normally expected. But it does seem like, I mean, given their track record, it seems like a pretty decent build.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see. I haven't heard anybody say that it feels like cheap.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had the last Steam controller that they released with the
with the 2 touchpads on it.
with the 2 touchpads. Like I actually had one of those, and actually I was at first like, this is going to be weird and kind of
bad,
and not gonna, and kind of bad, but it actually wasn't as bad. Like it has its problems, but it wasn't as bad as I expected, and it was also very well put together. Felt very sturdy, didn't feel cheap.
I don't know. It just occurred to me. I wasn't thinking about getting one of these, but I actually think there's been a number of times that I've recorded where we've had to switch places so that I could sit at my desk to play something that required a keyboard and or a mouse. But I guess the only other thing is I bet this thing's going to sell out like right away.
I'm gone. I'm expecting that.
Let's see.
Like when I say I might try, I don't think I'm going to try on day one. I think I'm going to, because for sure, like a lot, like there was a YouTuber that I kind of look at his videos every now and then that even made the suggestion. He was like, look, if you want to do this day one and try to get this controller before May 4th, put about $150 on your Steam account.
Oh.
And then that way the money's there.
Right.
And then on the day of, pay for it with your Steam wallet, and then you have a little bit of extra money that maybe you can buy an extra game or two with afterwards. He's like, because that system is going to crash hard, because it does every time they release new hardware.
Yeah. We also got the news that iFixit is going to have a full line of replacement parts for the controller. iFixit did a lot of the Steam Deck stuff, and that the controller is being made to be able to be taken apart very easily, which I've taken apart a lot of controllers, and I will say that, like, the 8-bit DO one that I got, I was going to replace the face buttons on it, and man, that thing is a fucking bitch to get into. Even the Xbox controllers, they have this outside shell you have to take off that's a real pain in the ass. This is a lot more easily laid out, and that's great. Also, iFixit is a great company, and everybody should buy some of their tools. The reason the Steam controller is coming out now, even though we haven't heard anything about the Steam machine, is because it has no RAM in it. So they didn't have to worry about finding a place to get RAM.
Well, so originally there was the report that they were going to wait until the Steam machine came out to release both at the same time.
Yeah.
But actual people who wanted this controller were like, just fucking release that first.
Yeah.
And I guess they finally listened.
Yep. Yeah. And then there was also Valve said that the Steam Deck is still completely sold out.
Yeah.
They have not been able to get restock because of the RAM problem. So they're still working on that. They don't have any timeline on it because people asked when they were doing press for this about like, well, can I get a Steam Deck? And they were like, no, we're still working on that, which, everything is more expensive now, and still I have no use for AI. So
yeah.
Great. Let's see. Speaking of PC stuff, this is just a quick note. I don't think this is going to be the most interesting thing of all time, but the latest version of Denuvo has been fully and completely cracked, which I still can't believe in the year of Donicles 2026 that we're still using Denuvo. Like it every time anybody disables Denuvo on a game, it makes it run better because it's not constantly having to like phone home and check files and make sure that it's not pirated. But yes, Denuvo is still out there. It's been fully basically broken. But in response to this, at least EA has started doing, I should have put this nearer to the Sony thing, has apparently begun patching all of their games to require some kind of other phone home every 14 days.
Jesus.
Borderlands, NBA 2K25, NBA 2K26. Marvel's Midnight Suns, for some reason, on the PC now has like a further check-in that has to be done. So, yeah, not the best. Not the best thing that's ever happened. I wish they would just get rid of this bullshit. I still don't know. I still have never seen any evidence that Denuvo stops dedicated pirates from pirating stuff, like if they really want it. Let's see. Speaking of EA, there was a little bit of a this is a little bit of clarification. I think I cut last week the story where EA did a big roadmap for what Battlefield 6 is going to be up to. They've got some big new maps that are coming in. I feel like it's 10 years ago, because one of those notes was that they're putting a server browser into Battlefield 6, and I'm like, how does it not have a server browser? I think in Battlefield 4, after a month it had been out, they were like, oh, we're adding the ability to look at the it's like the player board with the kills and deaths. And I was like, that wasn't a fucking thing. And apparently last week, a lot of the player base was asking, because that was kind of a nebulous on the horizon promise.
Yeah.
And the player base was like, no, the server browser should be the first fucking thing. How did this game not ship with the server browser? And so apparently in an update, they said that they're going to be kind of bumping that up in the priority of things to get done in Battlefield 6. I know that this is important to you, John, because of how much you play Battlefield 6.
I don't play Battlefield 6 at all, Joe.
Let's see. Speaking of games with a 6 on them, Strauss Zelnick was talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 and was yet again very coy about what the pricing of the game will be. There's been a rumor going around for a long time that they will ask for $100 for Grand Theft Auto 6, which, to be honest, if it was last year, I would say like, yeah, you could probably get away with charging $100 for one of the most popular games of all time. Right now, I'm not sure that you could. Like, everything is fucking expensive as shit, and $100 is not as much of a chunk of change as it used to be. But doling out $20 more for Grand Theft Auto 6 than the most expensive game out right now, which I think is Mario Kart 8, is a little bit of an ask. Anyway, let's see if I can find some of these quotes here. He said, we're back to this, quote, consumers pay for the value that you bring them, and our job is to charge way, way, way less of the value delivery. How you feel about something you buy is the intersection of the thing itself and what you pay for. Consumers need to feel like the thing itself is amazing and the price they were charged was fair for what they got. Yes, that is all obviously stupidly yes, but what's the fucking price, Strauss? I was actually curious, John, to know if you had planned to... Wait, is Grand Theft Auto's coming out on the Xbox? Or is it just PlayStation?
No, it's supposed to come out on Xbox.
It's both of the consoles, right? Yeah. Are you planning? I know that Grand Theft Auto. You bounced off Grand Theft Auto 5 a long time ago with how evil of a piece of shit Trevor is, but I wasn't sure whether you were excited at all, or.
I mean, I'll probably give it a try. I'll probably play it. I don't know, like if I'm going to play it like right away. Like I've kind of, like I said, Grand Theft Auto's kind of always been a like I really liked Grand Theft Auto 4, and I liked a lot of the DLC for 4.
Yeah, 4 great DLC.
I think a lot of my trepidation with Grand Theft Auto 5 was how they reintroduced or how they treated some of the characters that were carryovers from 4. Whatever.
Yeah.
And also Trevor. It was also at a time when just like I didn't want to look at that shit. Yeah. Like it was just like, okay, this is cruel just to be cruel.
Yeah.
I just wasn't interested in that. It's like I've grown up and I don't need that in my media that I consume.
Does the fact that it's definitely not like written by the same people as a lot of the previous ones tilt you in any direction?
I mean, like what I've seen of the game and what the trailers we've seen, like I'm interested. Like I'm definitely interested in it. Like I'm not interested in any like GTA Online stuff.
Sure.
But like I'm interested in checking it out. Like I'm not like I think it'll be like Grand Theft Auto 4 where I wasn't really like I was like I'll get it, but maybe not on day one, and then like something happened that I was just like, oh, I have a bunch of money. Grand Theft Auto came out. Let me see if I can get a copy of that. Grand Theft Auto 4 was interesting just because it was Xbox 360, and I walked into Best Buy, and they had like one of the collector's editions right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, I have the money for this.
Let's see. We also got a bit of speculation that we might be getting the next trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 pretty soon.
Okay.
It's been about a year since the last one came out. It's supposed to be out in November, so we're entering kind of the window of like start hyping this, even though it's already the most fucking overhyped thing in the world. But
I'll believe it comes out in November when it actually comes out in November.
Well, there's that. Also, the thing is that the last few times they've released a trailer has been right before an earnings call, and that Take-Two has an earnings call on May 22nd. So the idea of putting out a trailer right before
makes sense.
So within the next beginning of May, maybe mid-May, to get everybody all pumped up so that you can have like a really good investor meeting. That's great, because obviously if they, investors will ask like, hey, I haven't seen another trailer for this thing yet. So
I'll be honest, the game looks good. Just like even this from the trailers from a year ago, the game looks good.
Looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm really interested, and I want to know. Now, given my hype for Grand Theft Auto 6, I have the exact polar opposite feelings for Mind's Eye, but Mind's Eye is still around and doing stupid shit. So I want to talk about it.
Okay.
Mind's Eye has dropped the price of their game to $35 from the full $60. They've also put out a new update, and I'm doing the bidding of a crazy person by talking about this. But one of the things that they added into the game is this new DLC called Blacklisted, and it's a solo DLC made in their little game engine, and you're playing as a fictitious assassin, Julia Black, I think is the name, who's come to the town of Mind's Eye to assassinate a bunch of people. The crazy person who heads this company had said that they were going to be putting a bunch of real world people in this DLC because he believes that actual companies have a conspiracy to make this game fail, even though it's mostly just like a YouTuber that didn't like this game. I read a little bit about this because I'm not going to actually bother playing this horseshit. It looks terrible. And apparently there's a little bit of chatter about companies being brought down with sabotage, as well as a slight reference to the YouTuber in question. I don't think any of this is going to make Mind's Eye sell any better. I think it's only a matter of time. I mean, they've said, oh, we're fixing things, but from the description I heard about this, apparently you can't even get out of your car in the game unless you're like near the mission area. So they'll put you in the car, you have to drive to the next mission area, and you literally can't do anything except drive there and then get out and do the mission. I don't know. Have you had any feelings about Mind's Eye whatsoever, John?
I remember when right before the game came out and they had that big creator event or whatever, and like not just one YouTuber but multiple influencers like came out. Wait, no, this is not good.
Yeah.
Like this is
It was so weird seeing this at that weird I.O. conference during the summer last year, where it was like everybody just wanted to see more James Bond, and they were like, "Ooh, we put Le Chiffre in Hitman, and ooh, here's Mind's Eye," and I was like, "I don't care about any of this."
Yeah, I honestly forgot this game existed.
Yeah,
like it's out, right? Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
It's been out for a while,
and actually, I think that this DLC. There was supposed to be Hitman DLC for this because IOI published the game.
Okay.
And they pulled it because the game is bad. And the person who runs their company is a crazy person. So I wonder if this Megan Fox, Costco Megan Fox over here would just replaced 47 as the main character, and then they reworked parts of the story to agree with the CEO's weird fantasies. So anyway. All right. Speaking of weird DLCs, Final Fantasy XIV is getting a crossover with Neon Genesis Evangelion somehow.
Sure.
They put out a little teaser that was just like audio with the faded in the EVA Unit 01's face and Final Fantasy XIV. So nothing specific. So people are speculating wildly about what in the actual shit is going to happen here. I don't know. I didn't play. I mean, they did like a Nier crossover. They did like a Monster Hunter I think they did a Monster Hunter crossover. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Anyway, I don't know. How long is it until Final Fantasy XIV is just crossed over with everything? They've already crossed over. They've already shoved every other Final Fantasy game in there, so we'll have to see. But yeah, we'll see a little bit more of that at some point. I'm sure the memes will be spectacular. Let's see. In other news, Sega Universe launched this week. I don't know what exactly this is, but it's like a new website dedicated to a lot of Sega's back catalog with this new no old stay gold like slogan, and it's a very weird website. Do you remember that they had that like Planet Sega or whatever it was website that had all the different games on it?
Oh, yeah.
This one has like a weird trailer where it's a bunch of people in a room, and one of them is like making music, and one of them's making T-shirts, and then they put in like the CD comes on, and it does the old like Sega like thing, and then all this light and shit comes out and everybody's excited by it. But as near as I can tell, this website just appears to be like, I don't know, if you scroll down on the website, you just are able to look at some screenshots and fun facts about some old Sega games. And I'm like, well, weren't you guys remaking Crazy Taxi and Golden Axe and Shinobi and like a few other games that I was supposed to be hearing about? Like, show me any of that. Not any of this. I don't know. It's weird. I wonder who gets paid to make this incredibly detailed website. Like when you click on these, things, you have to do like a little mini game where you enter in, you put buttons on your keyboard, and then when you hit enough of them, it shows you just like some facts, some screenshots about the whatever game is there.
We've gamified the website.
Yeah. So you get like a little video of Streets of Rage, and I don't know. It's very weird. I looked at this and I couldn't figure out what the fuck it was. Yep. Weird thing last week from a former Sega executive. The Gang of Dragon, or what? Not the Gang of Dragon. It was the Nagoshi Studio, the company that's making Gang of Dragon. Their YouTube channel was deleted.
Yeah.
And then it was reinstated. and nobody entirely knows why. So this game is still in search of funding. It's in production limbo right now because it was like one of those Chinese investment companies like yanked all the funding.
Oh yeah.
From them. So they're trying to figure out if they can finish it, because I think it says they need like $30 million or something to finish it. The weird thing though about this, as I read into it, was their YouTube channel doesn't have anything on it. The actual reveal trailer is on the Game Awards channel, and that's the one they use embedded in like their website, their promotional stuff. There's just this one video on their channel that's like a weird music video about the like the values of the company. It's like a weird rap video, and the person rapping doesn't sound like they're a very good rapper or singer or whatever. So I don't know if this is quite as I was seeing headlines last week about like Gang of Dragon YouTube channel deleted, and then I went and looked at it and I was like, oh, I don't think this is actually anything. But I still hope that game gets made. It looked like it was going to be good. So let's see. We got some more studio bad news. Last week, the Dead by Daylight, last week, Behavior Interactive laid off a bunch of folks. These were largely folks that were, what was the quote, mobile and casual external development projects. This week, there was a story that apparently, so it's kind of it's real murky. Some union folks came to Behavior Interactive and were handing out flyers, and apparently some of the people that got fired were people that had taken the literature and then spoken favorably about video game unions, but not all of them. And so the question is, was this intentional or just a bad coincidence?
Yeah.
Now, I feel like I've read the same story 2 other times. And I'm always like, if it was that bad of a coincidence, you shouldn't have done it, because it just makes things look terrible. But I don't see a specific, there's no specific proof here that that's exactly what happened. So I guess we'll just see. I guess we'll have to keep an eye on it. Also, Assassin's Creed Hex. One of the directors over there has left. The current director, Benoit Richer, has left. This will make the second director of this game that has left over the last, like, I don't know, 6 months or so? 2 months? Because the previous creative director, Clint Hawking, left at the end of February. So I don't know what the fuck is going on over at Ubisoft.
There's a lot of stuff going on at Ubisoft, and I don't think anyone knows, not even Ubisoft.
I mean, the person is this Benoit Richer guy who worked on Arkham Origins and a few other things. He left to co-found, quote, an indie studio of industry veterans aligned around a shared vision of the industry and experience creation. And it's like, oh, you left Ubisoft to start an indie studio? That's a red flag right there, if I've ever heard one. Yeah. Let's see. Also, okay, so here's another one that you and I specifically have some experience with. Spiders is closing their doors.
No.
Spiders was part of Nacon, and Nacon defaulted on their investments because Big Ben, their holding company, did not pay anybody, and so they basically were forced into bankruptcy. Spiders had a limited amount of time to find somebody to basically purchase or fund them. They did not, and now they're going away, which I can't say that it always sucks when somebody loses their job, but you and I have been moderate fans of Spiders, but not in any really enthusiastic kind of way for a while.
Yeah, they make totally okay games at best.
Yes.
And garbage most other times.
I don't know. I think everything they've made has been like, even if I didn't like it, it was just not for me.
Yeah.
But it still seemed like a perfectly mediocre game. Like I played that tech romance. It was called Technomancer, not Tech Romancer. That's a giant robot game. Technomancer, I believe, was a game on like the PS3 era, and then
Mars Warlogs,
and they made that Steel, whatever the Marionette Lady, the Dark Souls marionette French Revolution game that was not Liza P, but came out around that same time. Steel Bastille, something like that. I think you and I just got done playing Greedfall 2, which is still in early access. And when asked, they said that Nacon will be publishing any of the stuff that they're contractually obligated to put on there, but they're pretty much done. So it looks like it'll transfer over to Nacon as a work for hire to maybe do a little bit of cleanup on it, but that's probably never going to be completely done. But that was weird too, because that was fucking Baldur's Gate. I didn't expect that when we played it. The first one was Assassin's Creed, and the second one was Baldur's Gate. So spiders, man, all over the place. Yep. Let's see. We also have the developers for Windrose, the pirate DLC, where I got my ass kicked by birds and pigs. Asking their player base to chill the fuck out a little bit, because apparently that launched into early access. It was a big thing a couple weeks back, a lot of buzz on it, and everybody's like, when's the next update? And they're like, 6 months. Everybody's like, that's too long. And it's like, that's how long it takes to make video game stuff. So they're asking their players to just, just chill out, let them cook a little bit. They're going to do some quick updates to the game to address some current issues, and then they're just going to go into full-on development for a little while. I don't know. I really like that game. It was like, what if Sea of Thieves wasn't terrible? The end. So
okay.
We also, this is a follow-up on last week. We had a story about Last Flag. I don't know if you're familiar with this.
I am not.
The lead singer of Imagine Dragons and his brother made a video game.
Oh, right.
That was at the Game Awards. That. Yeah. It's basically capture the flag, but your team can move the flag wherever they want on the map. It's got a series of wacky cartoon characters. Launched a few months back. Nobody's really playing it. It's currently $15, but they're having a bunch of free to play weekends. So if you get the demo, you can play the full on game Friday through Sunday over the next couple of weekends to try to drum up a little bit more support. They're also adding a roller girl character to the game.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before we hear about this one getting shut down. And then let's see. Resident Evil Requiem has announced they've got a new mode also that's coming out in a couple of months. There was a statement from the developer saying you can't play that mode until you've beaten the entire game, because it probably has spoilers for things that happen in the game.
Okay.
Which makes people think that it's probably a mercenaries mode, and then what has like bosses that you wouldn't necessarily see until you've beaten the game. But basically Capcom came out and said, like, you've got like 2 or 3 weeks to finish playing Resident Evil Requiem if you're interested in playing this new free DLC that's coming out. Yeah. And then let's see. We got a couple of quick things that we can move on to here. There was Alien Isolation 2 was announced last year, but we got a very brief little teaser that basically just shows, kind of some retro futurist alien-ass stuff. And then there's a door that opens and it shows one of the telephone booths that were save points in Alien Isolation. I don't know. Did you play Alien Isolation?
I played it a little bit.
Yeah. Did you? I obviously didn't finish it. Wasn't exactly your thing. I played it all the way to the end, and I got mad at it a whole bunch of times because I didn't want to just hide. So yeah, but this is at least the first sign of life we've seen from this game in, I'd say, about a year. And I tell you what, let's wrap it up with Blood of the Dawnwalker. So, are you familiar with Blood of the Dawnwalker?
No.
Okay. This is a project that's being made by a bunch of ex-Witcher 3 devs, as well as some other folks. It's a medieval fantasy game where you play as a guy who's living in a world that has been taken over by vampires, and they have stolen your family and turned you into a daywalker, basically, and you have 30 days to do RPG stuff and rescue your family from being eaten by vampires. The game is split into day and nighttime. During the nighttime, you have creepy, crawly vampire powers. You can turn into a wolf. You can walk up walls. and you've got a bunch of like blood powers and kind of vampire stuff that you can do. During the day, it's much more of a kind of sword and sorcery Witcher 3 affair where you have some powers but not the same level. The interesting thing is that you have, as you can see up here, 30 days to do the main quest, and then there's a bunch of different actions of things you can do in the game that will accelerate time forward by like an increment or 2 increments. So like there was a mission they showed where the character finds a blood supply for the vampires, and they can destroy it in order to kind of weaken them as time goes on. And that takes like 2 units of time to do. So I think you could choose not to destroy it in order to save that time to try to do other stuff. But it looks really, really fucking witchery. It looks a lot like Witcher combat, but it's also very kind of, it's like the Witcher meets that vampire game, speaking of Don't Nod. So yeah, and it's just it's a big open world RPG. It looks like it's going to take, they say that it can take up to 50 to up to 70 hours to complete a single playthrough, which is weird because when I look at this is like a 13-minute gameplay vertical slice, and they eat through like basically an entire day worth of time in just 13 minutes. And I'm like, you only have 30 days to save your family, so I don't know how the hell you would end up with 50 hours if that's the case. Yeah.
No.
There's also some interesting stuff that they talked about where like if your vampire hunger meter gets too low, you can get into a situation where you just eat one of the quest givers. Or you just kill one of your allies or the quest givers. Like you'll get into a place where the dialogue options, like all the options are basically like kill them, and you have no choice but to do that. Apparently all of the quests and stuff can be resolved even if you kill quest givers. There's a bunch of different like The Witcher, there's a bunch of different paths that you can go down.
I mean, it seems interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks, this is, I think, the first time, this is the third one of these, but I think this is the first time I've seen a kind of extended gameplay demo for it, and it's just got real big Witcher vibes.
Yeah.
It seems an awful lot like The Witcher. But then also there was a thing that they showed where you can, there's like the more on the radar of kind of these main vampires you are, the more like locked down everything in the game gets, or the more you'll have like more aggro and stuff. What was interesting is they showed this screen that has like the main vampire that's your target, and then kind of his sub lieutenants, and then they're broken out into these little question marks that are each like sub folks, and at the bottom there's kind of an infamy meter that goes up as you do stuff. This looks a lot like a nemesis system to me.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're gonna be,
I see that.
Taking out lieutenants in order to anger one side. Like maybe you'll pick one of these to go through on your playthrough, and then kind of see what all happens when you irritate the shit out of one of these vampires and you have to fight them in a battle. The other thing about this is that it looks real nice. Like they put out a full on story trailer for the game, and I think it's just using Unreal Engine 5, but it all looks I mean, it's not like knocking my socks all the way off, but it's definitely just a very good rendition of the current state of video games. Like it looks like a good Unreal Engine 5 game. It's also incredibly violent, and I like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It also has a lot of. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of a Kingdom Come Deliverance, where it's got very kind of, it's got semi-authentic looking medieval fantasy grime to it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it looks good.
Yeah. There's only one big issue at the moment. And one of the things that they talked about in some of these is that the recommended system specs for it are basically top.
Yeah.
Like in order to play it at 4K 60, you need a 5090 card.
Oh, okay.
Like in order to play it at like, 1080p, 40 frames per second on like my card, like a 4070 Ti. So it's like, that is a little bit disappointing in that it seems like if you want this to be a more widespread title that more people get their hands on, you can't make it so that you can only play it on the tippity-toppitiest PC settings of all time. But yeah, it looks great. I think everybody should go check out the trailer. This actually, like I said, this is the third of the gameplay overviews. But they also put out a release date. They had a kind of a big thing, and so September 3rd is when it's coming out, which is not right away, but it's around the corner.
Yeah.
So yeah. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break. We got a lot more trailers left to go because there's a lot of cool stuff this week, and so we'll talk about those in just a minute. Stick around. And we're back.
Hey.
And that means it's time for trailers. Got some really weird trailers this week, John. So,
all right. I'm interested.
Let's get started. Or first, we're going to look at the launch trailer for Neverness to Everness, a game that we're definitely going to be doing some recording on, but I haven't done yet. This is such a weird game because it seems like it's everything.
There have been a few games like that.
Yeah, I mean, well, I thought that Zenless Zone Zero would be like that, but then it was just like, oh, the parts that are not combat are just kind of walking around in a place. But this is like there's like driving and cooking and music and third person Bayonetta action and waifus and explosions and all kinds of shit. Yeah, and so I've been really curious because every time I see one of these trailers, there's another game that's like this that's we've seen a few trailers for, but this one,
yeah, is the guy that travels via Spider-Man web slinging.
Yes,
yeah. No, this is not that game.
This is not that game, but
yeah.
You would not be. I would not blame anybody for being confused. This one has a lot more mystical monster combat to it, but yeah. But then the thing is that it doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
They've got this, they've got the kind of cell shaded anime plus pretty decent like world detail look going on, and it's just not the worst thing I've ever seen in the world. I don't know. I think this is also a phone game, but I do know that it was like $10 on the PlayStation right now.
Okay.
I don't know if it's on other consoles, but I know it's on there. I don't know. Have you ever gone down the rabbit hole with one of these?
No, just the videos that we've played.
Okay.
If we've played any of them.
No Genshins, no Zenless, no
I haven't
Star
touched
Rails.
any of those.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. At least we're living in a world where they can make anime characters look pretty good now. I remember we suffered for decades with terrible looking anime versions of characters. All right. Well, maybe something you do have more of an interest in. We got a couple of trailers for Invincible Versus, which is out at as of this recording. The first one being the story trailer, which is great because I thought about it. I guess I didn't actually know that there was going to be a story mode in this game.
I mean, I figured there'd probably be something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I figured that for most fighting games, but then I've been sorely disappointed a number of times. You've been watching Invincible, right?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen this trailer?
I have not actually seen this trailer, but I knew of it.
Okay. It seems like it's like a kind of an alternate universe type of thing. There's parts where they kind of go into this. Heroes and villains are all kind of in this weird hexagonal simulation world.
Yeah.
Like it might be a kind of a multiverse thing. There's a thing in the trailer I think you saw at the very beginning of the Viltrumites, but they all have like black and red uniforms as opposed to the white ones they have in the show. And then they've kind of got like the actual animation style. It looks like they've actually got like cutscenes and dialogue and stuff going on.
And I know that there's like a character that's original to the game.
Is that the nature lady is?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether she was like from the comics or something.
Yeah, that's like not from the comics or whatever. She's just an original character for the game.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know what my thirst for Invincible content is currently high, given the last season of the show. So I'm interested in seeing more, especially because the last few Invincible things that are not this have all been like visual novels or turn-based games or phone games or things I'm not super interested in. I don't know. What are your thoughts about Invincible Versus?
I'm interested in it. Like I want to play it. Like I don't know. Like I'm also hesitant because it's a fighting game, and fighting games are really, unless you're Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, they tend to not last.
Okay.
As far as like they're like, oh, this was fun, I'm not playing it ever again, kind of thing.
Okay.
So I've been very hesitant. Like I didn't realize it came out today, as we're recording this.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to play it as much as anyone.
Okay.
I hope it's good. Like I hope the combat mechanics are good and the fighting game aspect of it is good. And I know that there was a bit of not controversy, but a little bit of groaning because they announced the voice cast. It's not the voice cast from the animated series.
Sure.
It is like, for example, instead of Steven Yeun, it's the actor that does the main character from Solo Leveling.
Oh, okay.
Except he's actually doing an impersonation of Steven Yeun.
Right.
Which is crazy because people thought in all the trailers it was Steven Yeun doing the voice.
I think Michael told me that like it sounded like for everybody except Jason Mantzoukas was more than happy to show up and do a thing.
Though it is funny because there is another guy, like it's Jason Mantzoukas and another guy that are both doing voices for Rexplode.
Oh, okay. But I could be wrong about that. I was
No. You're not wrong.
Okay.
Because Jason Mantzoukas was doing some voice stuff for them.
Okay.
And then when they were announcing the voice cast for the game, they listed Jason Mantzoukas and another guy as the voice of Rexplode, and everyone went, "Why are there two voice actors?"
Okay. It's funny, after watching the 4th season, I was looking at this, and they have the first 2 of the season pass characters lined up with the Immortal and that electric lady that showed up in one episode, Saturnalia or something.
Yeah.
And I was watching this and I was like, oh, after watching the 4th season, I'm like, where's Oliver? I want Oliver in this game.
I mean, he was probably coming at some point.
Probably coming at some point, yeah. We also got just like the full-on just gameplay montage launch trailer.
Yeah.
That showed, because all that stuff, it's more of a stylized kind of dropped frames with a little bit more shading on it, whereas the actual game itself is a little bit just like sharper and crisper and faster. Michael told me that it's got a kind of a Marvel vs. Capcom light, medium, heavy, super kind of thing, which can go one of two ways. I mean, I can't keep up with it in Marvel vs. Capcom, but I've played other games where having that makes for an easy combo because you always know at least how to do one kind of combo. So I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm hoping that's good. Just weird to kind of like Marvel, where it's weird to have this whole Invincible thing that is a current, it's a thing that people like, that are excited about, and it took this long to get an actual game to the 4th season to get an actual action game for it as opposed to something else. So let's see. In other very weird tie-in games, we got the announcement this week for Star Wars Heroes versus Villains Monopoly. John, I don't know if you're interested in playing Star Wars, but also it's the world's worst board game. Yeah, I'll say it. Takes too long. It takes too long to play Monopoly, man. It just takes too fucking long. But this appears to have some kind of PvP component to it, where if your heroes land on the same space, you do like a little dice game, and people lose their turn or go to jail or something like that. I don't know. It was very weird. Also, all the character models look like that Disney Infinity game.
Oh yeah, I see that.
I was like, that looks like a very familiar Han Solo.
So is this like its own game, or is this like an expansion to like the current Monopoly game?
I believe this is its own thing. It's going to be June 11th. I think it might actually be an adaptation of a version of Monopoly that they sell in digital form. But I don't know. It just, the trailer for it came up today, and I was like, of all the Star Wars tie-ins that you could do in the world, Monopoly seemed like a weird one. But all right. Well, what do we move on to something that I really like? Exodus. I'm going to keep talking about Exodus. I love Exodus. This is that Mass Effect game that's being made by some local folks that just looks an awful lot like Mass Effect. Did you watch the Secret Level?
Yeah.
You know, the one where it was like the person going through hyperspace and
Oh
their kid
yeah,
was
this is the
older?
Matthew McConaughey game.
Yeah, that's Exodus. They've been showing these tiny snippets. This one is, the first one I saw was a little bit of a combat thing. The second one was a little bit of an exploration thing. This one is just kind of showing like the character is on a planet in an apartment. And they're kind of looking around. There's like a little thing for lore that comes up. They're promising, I think at like Summer Games Fest, they're going to have a much bigger presentation, but they've been showing little snippets of it. I really want this game to be good because I miss Mass Effect, and it looks like they're making some kind of Mass Effect. And if I can't get Mass Effect from the people that make it, then I will take it from whoever I can. So,
yeah, no, it looks good. It looks interesting. I'm down for playing it.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is, the first trailers they put out were narrated by Matthew McConaughey, and I haven't heard his sultry tones in any of the new stuff that they've put out. So I don't know if he just, did an afternoon and one press thing and then left.
He was also like a producer on the game.
I think he is, but I don't know. Maybe he's all over the place because he in those early trailers he played. He was like a lore man, like he was describing the things in the universe. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see more this summer. Let's see. We also got 3 or 4 minutes of Orbitals, the Nintendo Switch 2 kind of throwback 90s anime game.
Yeah, I saw this trailer during the last, I think it was Nintendo Indie Direct or whatever.
Yep. So they did a little thing where they actually showed some full-on gameplay, and it's very It Takes Two, right?
Okay.
Or maybe We Were Here, those kind of games where, each person has a tool and they have to use those tools in conjunction with each other in order to be able to do stuff. Like here, one person heats up girders and the other one is pulling it down with like a grapple. And they have this kind of subsection where they've got to keep this robot powered, and the person with the laser is able to directly interact with them, but then the person that's got it kind of attached to them has to kind of go through a variety of hazards in order to do it. I don't know. I mean, I'm a real sucker for when they do these kind of dedicated co-op style games.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm kind of out at that point. Yeah, because I don't like playing multiplayer games.
Yeah. Did you? I guess you didn't really go with any of the It Takes Two or Split Fiction or those.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I also think that they did a pretty good job at the style of it, of making it look like kind of a retro 90s anime. It's kind of got a little bit of a blur filter over it and some kind of heavy shading. But so I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. At least it'll be a fun comedy of errors for us when we finally record videos.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's coming out sometime this summer. I don't have a full-on release date for that yet. I'd have the launch trailer for Aphelion in here, even though we already talked about it. So probably don't need to talk about that again.
No.
All right, let's talk about something that we haven't talked about. Saros got a launch trailer. I have been completely and totally cracked out on Saros for 48 hours now since we recorded the videos for it. This is the latest game from Housemarque. That's known for a lot of stuff, but most people probably know them for Returnal, a game so hard that apparently no one was really able to beat it.
Yeah.
So they've lightened up a lot of the difficulty in this through a number of different mechanics. You're able to deploy a shield at will, and the shield actually has a purpose where it collects power to do super attacks. There's also a bunch of gameplay modifiers that you could switch around to make the game easier if you want. And it's a very kind of cosmic space horror story where everybody's gone to this weird bloodborne planet. They're all going crazy a little bit at a time, including your own character who's searching for somebody. I'm not entirely sure what all is going on there yet, but
are you enjoying it though?
Very much so. It's the thing is that I always wanted to like Returnal. I desperately wanted to like Returnal, but it was just too fucking hard, and I didn't want to devote the amount of of time to it. Like I've gotten to the third area out of, I think there's like say 3, 4. I think there's 8 total areas in the game. and that's in like a handful of runs, which has been good. And they kind of have this other psycho stuff that happens, this kind of a flashback, and then the main character is played by the specific guy from who's that horror dude on Netflix?
He's Mike Flanagan.
Yeah, he's been in some of the Mike Flanagan stuff. But yeah, no, it's been great. I only wish it was on more platforms so more people could enjoy it. But what I've played so far, I've thoroughly enjoyed. I don't know. Does this tempt you towards the PlayStation Zone at all? I don't know. This doesn't really seem like the sort of game that you're.
Well, I can't afford to buy a PlayStation right now, so you know.
Well, there's that. I don't know. Do you think you would be giving this game a go if you had
a
access
PlayStation?
to it?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure. I don't know how big your appetite is for the roguelike, intense third person kind of thing that we're seeing here. I will say to anybody that's playing it, fucking remap your controls, man, because this does a thing that Returnal did that I hate, where holding down L2 slightly is your superpower or is your alt fire, and holding L2 down all the way is your super shot. And literally the circle button on the controller is unmapped, so I put dodge on that, and then I moved everything else to different buttons. So but yeah. Very quick update. We got a launch trailer for Chronos: The New Dawn is launching on Apple Silicon.
Okay.
So this is, and if you haven't played this game, they've done a lot of work. This is one where they also lightened up the difficulty because people. It was a challenging game when it came out. The resource management was pretty grueling. Like, you had to be sure not to waste your shots or anything. And they've done a lot to lighten that up, to give you a little bit more modifiers and slightly easier modes, so that people want to just do the story, they can do the story. And I think it's got a really good story. Chris asked me to do my favorite games of 2025, and somehow this ended up as like number 3 on my list, because I really liked it. If you like Dead Space, if you like Resident Evil, if you like kind of survival horror but with like a 12 Monkeys vibe to it, it's a really interesting game, because it's kind of these time divers that are going back to this weird like pandemic of monsters that happened on Earth, and then like pulling people into the future. It's hard to describe, but it was really good. So I don't know, if you got a Mac and you haven't played it yet, maybe give it a shot. If you like your Cyberpunk a little bit more straightforward, though, we got a new trailer for Sprawl Zero. John, I don't know if you remember, I had to look this up. You and I played Sprawl, which was a kind of a throwback 90s first-person cyberpunk shooter.
Okay.
We played it not that long ago. This is another game in that universe, but this one is a little bit more like...
I think I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more like early 2000s... The early days of 3D first-person shooters.
Yeah.
We get games like Sin, and I think it just nails that look perfectly.
Yeah.
It also looks like it's got a bunch of like kind of telekinetic powers where you're able to pick up stuff and throw it at people, which is one of my favorite things to do with games for some reason. I don't know why I like it so much, but yeah, this is another one. I think the last time I saw this, Michael and I talked about it, but it looks like it looks like just a shitload of fun. All the different kind of moving and shooting and stuff that you're able to do. I don't know. Any thoughts on this one, John?
Oh, it looks good as far as first shooter.
Yeah. Let's see if I can find this was Sprawl. Oh, very, very similar looking. What? Stop it. Steam video player. Yeah, it was very similar. It was just kind of a mad dash FPS. I think I spent a lot of time like underground in the game.
I do, like I said, the more I'm seeing, the more I'm like, oh yeah, no, I remember all this.
Yeah. Let's see. From there, we got the release date for Luna Abyss, which is another kind of cosmic horror-y shooting type of game. I've been looking at this one for a little while as well. It's got a little bit like Saros, where it's got some really interesting kind of the space madness iconography going on. But when you look at the actual gameplay, it's very like kind of bullet hell FPS style.
Okay.
But I don't know. All the horror stuff is so striking that I'm interested. It makes me want to go back it's just put it on my radar as a thing to keep an eye on, because I don't know, sometimes games like that are really good.
Yeah, I get that.
Yep. Going in the entire opposite direction, we got the 1.0 release trailer for Hellbreak, which is kind of a similar thing, but more of a painkiller vibe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that has kind of a painkiller vibe to it,
where you're kind of in a weird hell, kind of Serious Sam meets Painkiller, but I think it's also got a roguelike structure where you're doing upgrades. I don't know. I'm a little bit more trepidation about this one, just because I don't know, everybody's doing the roguelike thing these days, and sometimes it's good, but sometimes it just fucking sucks. I don't know. This looks like it could go too Serious Sam and not be at all interesting, or could end up being a blast. It's been in early access for a while. It's got kind of mixed reviews, but the 1.0 version is coming out on May 8th. So not too long to wait to see if that comes out. We also got a console reveal trailer for No More Hell in 2, or No More Room in Hell 2. Which is another one of these online kind of zombie games. This one has a real contentious Steam comments because it's also currently in early access. Did I say 2026? Yeah, 2026. I think are we kind of over the Left 4 Dead online co-op multiplayer zombie thing? There was one not too long ago, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
What was the last Left 4 Dead style game? There was something that was really close to Left 4 Dead. I don't know. I never really got into those types of games. I heard good stuff about the first No More Room in Hell. I don't know. Anything tickle your fancy about here? No?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's coming summer to the PlayStation. Let's see. From there we got I Am a Sucker. John, I Am a Sucker. I'm a big fat sucker. There's this, I don't know what this is. There's this brand called Broken Lore, and it's a bunch of different horror games, and they all come under the title Broken Lore : something something. And Tessa and I played one that was called like Broken Lore Don't Look or something, and it was a guy trapped in his apartment, and all these eyeballs started coming, and it was a real kind of horror thing. And then I played one with Bryce, and it was fucking terrible. It was called Broken Lore Don't Follow or something like that. And I thought that one was a sequel to the one that I played, but I think this one, Broken Lore Don't Play, is a sequel because there's a lot of eyeball monsters and Japanese people and weird meat.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because I feel like I got duped. I feel like I put a lot of time and effort into seeing if that other game was any good, and then it ended up being not very fun at all. Like really stupidly heavy-handed in its storytelling and kind of trite with what it was trying to say.
Yeah.
But I like what I'm seeing here. There's big eyeball monsters and weirdness and meat consoles. Very kind of Cronenberg-esque.
Yeah, that is very Cronenberg.
Meat an Xbox Meat 60 over here. So they're all made by the same group, Serafini Productions, but I can't figure out, like, they don't have an individual director or producer or name on them. They're all just under this one umbrella of Serafini Productions. So I can't tell if they're like, if they're going to be any good or not. So I don't know. Do you get into the horror games all that much? Do you play any horror games?
Yeah.
What do you think was the last one you played that you did anything for you? Is it more like action horror or more like spooky horror? Or
I mean, I play a little bit of everything. I mean, I probably play more action horror than anything, but
because you stay pretty close to Game Pass, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the last horror game that I probably played was Alan Wake 2, but that's just, you know, I really like Alan Wake.
Yeah.
But
because I don't think Microsoft puts that many horror titles on Game Pass. Like this kind of thing where it's like a spooky spookerson game.
Yeah.
I know they have them on their store, but I just don't feel like I see them on the service. Maybe they're worried that kids will download them from Game Pass and get creeped out.
I mean, there are some horror-esque games, but, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'll try this one before I make anybody else play it. It's got a very weird game. This is actually out right now. It's a very short game on Steam called Smile More. And I don't know what's going on, but you're getting these weird people and you're operating on them to make them like look happy, like you're pinning their faces in a way that makes them smile, and you're putting their limbs back together and they all seem incredibly horrified. It's got a very weird style to it that's like what was that? I Promise I'm Human or whatever that one game was. Kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for anything that looks weird and different, and this definitely looks very weird and very different.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
You're a mortuary
assistant.
Yeah, kind of thing, and you're fixing people up and making them look good for their...
Yeah, but when you listen to the audio for this, the people appear to all be conscious and alive, which makes it even that much more unsettling, especially because the art style itself is grotesque.
Yeah.
So, yep. Let's see. We also had, if you want your horror a little bit less horrifying, the launch trailer for Apocalypse, which appears to be a kind of a Balatro-esque card-like, roguelike, except that you're playing against other people, but it's got the same kind of rounds, power-ups, kind of big synergies. The big thing is that you're playing with and it appears to be against other demons. So that's, I guess, a new spin on it. I like all the Balatro alikes that have come out.
Okay.
Like, did you check out Clover Pit? With the slot machine? It was like a slot machine Balatro.
I did not play that, but I have seen it and I've debated playing it, but I have not played it.
And then Bryce got me playing Racoin, which is a coin pusher version of the same thing, where you're literally like the amusement park games where you put in the coins.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But then there's like a shitload of like modifiers that lets you move all the coins around and do bonuses and stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of these out there. This one seems okay. It got pretty decent. I was looking at it on Steam. It got pretty decent reviews. So, Apocalypse, if you're looking for something interesting to play. We also got the release date announcement for the Seventh Guest remake.
Didn't they just remake this game?
No. Well, sort of. They did a VR version, but that was just a VR version a few years back. This might actually be what you were thinking of, though, because this has been in the works for a little while now. But the thing about this game, and I don't know, maybe you can clock this the way that I did, was I couldn't for the life of me figure out whether these people are live action or character models.
Mixture of both?
Well, I think I realized what they did. I think I finally, when I saw them, because there wasn't enough in the last trailer, I think what they did was they did motion capture and then they 3D scanned the people's outside and like literally wrapped the scan of their face around a 3D model that then was applied to the motion capture, because they are some kind of 3D model, but the way that they talk and their expressions are a lot more like a live action thing than a 3D thing. So, but yeah, did you play Seventh Guest back in the day?
Yeah, I played it back in the day.
I never did. June 4th. I watched a friend of mine play it, but it was just, I liked the way it looked, but it was I didn't like dig on the puzzle aspect of it. Anyway, yep, June 4th. Mark your calendars if you're a big Seventh Guest fan. We're going to zip through some of these pretty quick. You know what? I'm going to pick one of these over the other one. We've got a couple of liminal space games. There's one called Dreamcore Rabbit Hole. I don't know if you've gotten into the whole liminal space game, but I'm still waiting for one of these to really get me. This one seems like it's a little bit more fantastical than some of the other ones that I've seen that appear to just mostly be walking through either the back rooms or pools or an abandoned hotel. But this one appears to have some more varied environments, like empty houses or fields or outside stuff. And I'm hoping that it has a little... I need one of these to have a little bit more story to it, because a lot of times they're just, can you escape the liminal space? And I'm like, I don't care. I don't know. What are your feelings about the back rooms in general, the kind of liminal space stuff?
Yeah, I like the back rooms. Like, I'm actually looking forward to the movie that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
I watched that director's YouTube channel where he made all the little backroom shorts.
Oh, yeah, because it's based on a YouTube channel, kind of Marble Hornets type of thing.
Well, I mean, it was a creepypasta, and then he took it and made a series of videos and kind of expanded on it, and then he got it, or Blumhouse contacted him. It's like, how would you like to direct a movie? And he was like, yeah, that's what I've been building towards. And they're like, we'll fund it and you can direct it. And the trailer just came out recently and it looks really good.
Yeah.
But as far as like liminal space stuff, like, I played, I can't even think of the fucking name of the game now.
Pools? Or one of the backrooms ones?
No, it wasn't one of the backrooms ones, but it was like Subliminal or Superliminal?
That was more of a puzzle thing.
Yeah, it was a puzzle, but I mean, it was...
But there wasn't anybody else there.
Yeah. But, like, I think these are fun.
Yeah. Let's see. We also got a release date for Better Than Dead, which is it's one of these Unreal games where they've applied a number of filters to make it look like body cam footage.
Yeah, this is the body cam footage game.
I don't know if it's actually... I think that other game was called Body Cam.
Oh.
And I think that this is a different one that just managed to make it to market faster. But I could be wrong. The whole Steam page doesn't indicate that it was ever called that, but it looks exactly the same with the blurred out faces, the pixelated faces and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't played one of these yet, so I'm not sure if they're fun. They appear to be very violent and destructive, but I can't tell if they're actually fun, I guess, until I get my hands on one of them. It is interesting, though, kind of same with the liminal spaces games, where if you apply enough of a weird filter over like an Unreal Engine game, it can start to look pretty close to realistic.
Yeah.
Not quite. This is still not quite, but it definitely... maybe it's just the shaking and motion blur that's doing it. But yeah, it's coming out May 12th. And Microprose is publishing it, of all people.
Okay.
A name I haven't heard in a long time. Let's see. For all you Ball Pit sickos, the Shadow update launched for Ball Pit. 2 new characters, new biomes, and some new stuff to do. A bunch of new ball syntheses. I'm going to keep flogging Ball Pit forever because I love Ball Pit. So go play Ball Pit.
Yeah, it's a good game. Also addicting.
Oh, yeah. Hotel Barcelona is getting some DLC. This is the Swery Suda game that came out, I think, last year.
Oh, yeah. We played a little bit of that.
Yep. They're getting 2 new bosses. One of them, I think I got them figured out. One of them is the Fly, but it's a bee. And then the other one is, I don't know, it's like kind of a mariachi cat. And I'm not sure what that one's, but because all the bosses are supposed to be like takeoffs of horror icons.
Okay.
So new levels, new bosses, and some new story stuff. So if you're into Hotel Barcelona, I don't know, I never went back to it. Apparently they had a cheating problem early on in the game, because you can invade other people's games. So people were getting invaded by like way overpowered people, which just ruined their fun. Let's see. We also got the launch trailer for Titanium Court. There should be a video up for this. Amanda and I played this. This is a very, very, very weird game. It is basically match 3 that then mutates into a kind of real-time strategy game, but also it's very cheeky with its story.
Yeah, Amanda was telling me about this.
It interrupts you a lot to talk about it. It's apparently a game about fairies, but I can't know. I'm not entirely certain. It's got this very specific art style, and it keeps putting stuff up like when you battle correctly, it brings up a little picture of a guy hitting a home run. It's a very unique kind of experience. I think everybody should go check it out. I don't know. I've got too much on my plate right now to continue to play it, but it was definitely interesting. So, yeah, Titanium Court. Go check it out. Also, just as a quick FYI, Possessors is now out on the Switch too. Possessors from Heart Machine came out earlier this year on other consoles. I played all the way through it. It was great. It's where you play as a young lady that has her legs she merges with a demon and then uses kind of modern or kind of throwback technology as weapons to fight a bunch of demons in this weird world.
Okay.
Good stuff. I liked it beginning to end. And then finally on the trailer front, Power Wash Simulator 2 finally has a DLC that I'm interested in. Their first one was Adventure Time. I don't watch Adventure Time. Star Wars. We're getting some Star Wars Power Wash Simulator. It looks like you're at least going to be cleaning the Luke and Uncle Owen and Aunt Bruce moisture farm, an X-Wing, and something on the bridge of a Superstar Destroyer. I don't know if Darth Vader will be watching you as you do that, but yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. I love the I love the way Power Wash Simulator works with everything. So, yeah. All right, and then let's go ahead and tear through some brief other news. This is another trailer that was really interesting. This is a very rough game, John, but I think it's kind of an interesting concept. So, all the games in your Steam library are like these discs that have the games logo on them, and you're fighting in an arena, and the games that are in your library that you have played the least are the enemies that will come at you, and then the games that you've played the most are the games that will come and help you. And it's this very, very rudimentary basic thing, and the games that you've never played are like sitting in the stands watching you as like royalty. And you can also tap into your friends' Steam list to get their own thing. So if you've got a giant backlog of games you've never played, I guess this is a way to make you feel bad about it, as kind of a fun concept. There was a game that came out that had a demo that was just putting your Steam library in a room. So you basically got boxes for every single game in your Steam library, and you could decorate a room and put them on shelves and do stuff. And I thought that was also kind of a fun thing. So, yeah. Yep. All right. PS Plus free games for May have been announced. Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, Nine Souls, and EA Sports FC 26. I think that Nine Souls is a fun Souls-like game that I believe was really hard when it came out, but got some interesting difficulty sliders to it.
Yeah.
Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, on the other hand, I couldn't fucking stand.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. Claire Obscure, on its 1-year anniversary, has gotten a bunch of new haircuts, as well as a bunch of they've been adding stuff to this game for a while, but they basically have a bunch of little kind of free glow ups for all the characters in Claire Obscure. You never went to Claire Obscure, did you?
I mean, I played it. I didn't get very far, but it was just kind of at a point where I was like, okay, this is a very long game, and I don't really like. It's good, but I'm not ready to sink that kind of time into a game.
Fair enough. Another surprise Final Fantasy thing. Final Fantasy 14 is going to be on the Switch too, which was announced at a big kind of Final. They also announced a new expansion called Evercold that's coming out, but people were very excited that we're getting. The people with the Switch are finally able to play Final Fantasy 14. I don't know if you know this. The Tales series has been remastering and putting out like all of their games, and the next one has been leaked. It looks like it's going to be what is it? Tales of Eternia. I don't really know that much about that, but I feel like some of the folks in the in the Discord and listening, probably like a lot of the Tales games, and would be interested.
Yeah.
So that was a Peggy leaked via Peggy rating. Bloodlines 2, if you're into Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which a lot of people were not, there's a new DLC out for it where you finally are able to use guns and knives and pick them up and use them. Or apparently you were able to kind of briefly, I think, use them in the previous. Oh no, I know what it was. You'd pick up a gun, and then when you used it, the main character would just fire every round out of it and throw it away. And people were like, why? But now there's a DLC where you can play as one of the other characters in the game where you can actually use the guns and
yeah, I
weapons.
remember when they announced that game and they were like, oh, I remember the first game and everything you could do in that. Well, we're going to do that, but plus more. And then the game came out and it's like, yeah, you can't even do half the shit you could do in the original game.
Yep. I mean, it's a miracle that game even... it's a miracle this DLC came out, to be honest, because that game went through 3 developers, I believe, before it had to be started over from scratch. Let's see. Dave the Diver is getting their expansion, the In the Jungle DLC, which we got some new information about. And basically the headline here, it's coming out June 18th, and it's going to be basically almost as big as a sequel.
Okay.
Dave the Diver and company are going to this island, and they're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. There's a bunch of new gameplay mechanics that are being added, as well as mini games. I'm looking forward to getting back into Dave the Diver because I really do like it. The Divisions, the mobile Division game that was on phones has been released for PC for free. So if you're interested and you want to play the Division, you can totally just go download it from Ubisoft's website. It's not on Steam though. So, and then last but not least, before we get to the fun stuff, we got a full-on release date for Star Wars Galactic Racer, October 6th. Actually, I think that this leaked because, if I'm not mistaken, I think while we were looking through this stuff, that they put out a trailer for it. Yeah. Are you? Do you have any? Are you interested in the pod racing, John? Do you like pod racing?
I mean,
I know Michael is really excited for it. And I'm like, I'm glad that somebody still cares about pod racing because I don't know. It's been a long time, but it was like a decent enough racing game, just not really my shtick. All right. So if you're a Baldur's Gate fan, Baldur's Gate, there's a bunch of books coming out that are tied into the Baldur's Gate 3 universe. One of them is a prequel book about Astarion, that of course, a brilliant move. They're making an audio version of that is being read by the guy that played Astarion, because of course, why would you not do that? That's incredible. The other ones are a little bizarre. Do you want to guess? There's 3 other books, John. Do you want to guess the genre of any of these books? I guarantee that you'll probably be wrong. One of them is a blank notebook that is based on the Necronomicon book that's in the game.
okay.
One of them is a cookbook, which I don't understand how that works. And one of them is a coloring book.
You know, I'm okay with all of those.
I mean, sure. It's just not what I expected out of. I thought that, if you're going to do the novelization for Astarion, figured everybody else might have some interesting stories to tell. Let's see.
But they do have cooking tips for you.
They do. Speaking of cooking, if you want a PC that's also an air fryer, that's silly, but one YouTuber has gutted an air fryer and basically shoved 2 high-end PCs into it, along with screens on the outside that make it look like it's a functional air fryer. I'm a big fan of when people do this kind of dumb shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a whole build on this. I gotta know. Go check it out at Signal RGB, and they're also giving it away if you're interested. And last but not least, Tomodachi Life is a thing, and the current meme for Tomodachi Life is basically cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but apparently people started by making like completely accurate packs of cigarettes, and then one of these memes is just 500 cigarettes as an item, where somebody made one and then they just put 500 of them stacked on a plate, which apparently is a reference to a joke on the Orville of all
probably,
things.
Yeah.
But apparently people are also as an item. They have their children in the game that are just demanding cigarettes and like cigarettes. They're walking around with their little packs of cigarettes, which is pretty horrifying. Yeah.
No, it's so Tomodachi Life, I will say, is one of those games where you have to bring the fun.
Yeah.
Like if you're just gonna play it and be like, I'm gonna make myself and nothing else, and I'm just gonna be boring old me and whatever, you're probably not gonna have a lot of fun. But the fun really comes from adding a bunch of weird shit to the game, being very creative with it.
Yeah.
I've seen videos where a guy was playing and a bunch of his characters were doing something, and it took him in, and they were dancing around like they were worshiping something, and in the middle was a Glock, and they were just dancing, and he was just like, well.
Well, I do have to tell you, John, that when I was reading the story, I found that there's a tool online where you can basically upload any image, and then it gives you a template to be able to put it pixel by pixel into Tomodachi Life.
Yeah.
And I did send that to Amanda, so don't be surprised if some weird shit starts showing up. I don't know. Did Amanda immediately just expel all of RageSelect from Mandaland?
No. They're still all there, from what I
I
understand.
don't know how I feel about my avatar.
Amanda and I did profess our love for each other.
Finally, we were all waiting for it.
Yeah, so that did happen.
Has everybody moved into the big RageSelect house yet with Michael and I?
Yeah, no, it's just you and Michael, as far as I know.
And we're still just podcasting in there.
Yeah.
And looking at Puppet Jeff. You guys got to watch that second video if you haven't already.
And fighting over which color TV station.
Oh yeah,
you're
purple
gonna watch.
Or green or purple.
Yeah.
What a trip.
She also made, in addition to that, she's since made an alien guy named Roswell.
Okay.
She's made David Lynch.
I saw that.
And John Waters, and I think the next one she said she was going to make was John Carpenter.
So she just got her favorite directors, like just one house with all of Amanda's favorite directors.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, you got to, like you said, you got to figure out how you're going to have your fun with Tomodachi Life. And I hope that you all have had fun with the RageSelect podcast, because it's over. If you like the podcast, patreon.com/RageSelect is where you can go to help us out. $5 a month is all it takes to get on the Discord server and see Amanda posting pictures of Tomodachi Life, as well as get a crap load of bonus videos, including John and I playing every single Souls game that exists. Yeah, that's right.
I think there was,
Dark Souls 2 DLC we never did, but other than that, it was all the Souls games and Elden Ring and Bloodborne. But not Sekiro.
Yeah,
but then also
Sekiro.
a bunch of other, Dead Space, Max Payne, Resident Evil 7. You and I have played a lot of fucking
We
games.
played Metal Gear Solid 2.
What?
One. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid. No, we didn't play 2. That's right.
And I never got to touch the controller. That was the thing.
We said that. It didn't happen, but...
we've got a crap load of bonus videos there. I've been posting a lot of them on Patreon. $5 a month is all it takes. And just if you're an enjoyer of the podcast takes a lot of work to get all put together. So if you could kick in a few bucks, I would appreciate it. If not, that's fine. But so give it a shot. And now, John, I'm finally free. I can just go play Sorrows until I melt into the ground.
Cool. I'm gonna go home and play Vampire Crawlers.
That's great. We could both engage in our own obsessions in our own houses. Why don't you engage in your obsession in your house? Bye, everybody.